contacts on, I can't read. Got to do the old man thing.
Uh-oh.
I know.
I have readers that I left here. They're not sparkling.
All right. Live.
All right, 5:45, I'll call open the public hearing regarding the proposed downstate small business stabilization grant application funded by Community Development Block Grant Funds of the state of Illinois. Pursuant to its response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the state of Illinois, through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, has repurposed $20 million of CDBG funds to stand up the Small Business Stabilization Program. The fund offers small businesses up to 50 employees the opportunity to partner with their local government to obtain grants of up to $25,000 in working capital. This hearing covers application requests submitted by Louisville Inc. or Louisville 2 Inc. DBA, the Chatham Cafe. If you'd like a copy of the applications, please contact Pat McCarthy at pmccarthy@chathamil.gov or call 217-697-5809. As part of the requirements of this public hearing, a sign-in sheet must be completed of all in attendance. Madam Clerk, do you have a roll of all the participants in this meeting?
Yes, I just need one person's name. I just need your name, sir, for the attendance for the.
First name's Don.
Okay.
Last name is spelled as a Frank, E-E-N-E-R.
And
F-U-E-N-E-R.
thank you.
And you have everybody else? All right, for Louisville 2 Inc., DBA The Chatham Cafe. We have a whole checklist of a whole bunch of things that I have to read associated with this that falls in, so bear with us and we'll get to all of it. The amount of funds available. The Village of Chatham is not a HUD direct entitlement community. We defer to the state of Illinois through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity and their repurposed $20 million in CDBG funds that have been made available to the Small Business Stabilization Program to make the final determination on overall funds total available. The qualifying small businesses via their local government are eligible to submit grant requests for up to $25,000. The state will issue the grants on a rolling basis and make determinations on fund availability and access to this capital as applications are processed. Item 2 is the activities to be undertaken with the grant funding. The program component makes funds available for 60 days of verifiable working capital up to a grant ceiling of $25,000 and is available for businesses that employ 50 people or less. These funds may be used to assist private, for-profit, small retail, and service businesses, or businesses considered non-essential by the governor's executive order without the ability for the employees to work remotely. The Chatham Cafe has requested $25,000. Number 3, public hearing requirements for this grant include giving a detailed prioritized list of the community development and housing needs. As the Village of Chatham is not a typical HUD direct entitlement community, and the state repurposing of funds makes the priority list specific to the 60 days of verifiable working capital funds of qualifying small businesses as it relates to Chatham and these applications. Item 4 is a narrative discussion of the scope of the project. The Chatham Cafe is the operational entity of Louisville 2 Inc. Located in Chatham, Illinois, providing a food service enterprise to the community of Chatham and Sangamon County. The Chatham Cafe, like other food establishments, was forced to close its doors due to the state of Illinois executive orders. Now the Chatham Cafe has the opportunity to provide food services outdoors as well as for carryout and to try to reestablish its full food service business. The Chatham Cafe is seeking funds to help support the additional costs of operation during the COVID-19 pandemic. Increased expenses for food and supplies, additional necessary cleaning, personal protective equipment, coupled with a continued prohibition of indoor food service has placed a huge burden on the Chatham Cafe. These additional funds would assist the Chatham Cafe in meeting the demands of continued operation. And at this time, are there any questions or comments for the public hearing for Lou Inc. and Lou, who is here with us? Does any member of the public like to speak? This is the opportunity for the public to provide any input regarding the requested application. Hearing none, any members of the board have any additional questions? With that, we will close the public hearing. And at 6, we will be able to adjourn our regular board meeting, at which point we'll vote on the resolution associated with this. Public hearing stands closed. Greg's not here. This is the time we usually tell attorney jokes. But our attorney's not here.
There's no legal representation tonight?
It's not as fun to tell attorney jokes when there's no attorneys in the room.
We're not lawless here. We're not lawless chiefs here.
God, in these unprecedented times.
It's so quiet.
Take that mask off you. Jabbers all day.
There he is.
Someplace with the yellow tags.
All right.
Ninety 95% chance they cancel all fall. I'd say 95% chance that they cancel the fall sports. You gonna give it 100? I don't guarantee anything at this point. But when you,
March, April, and spring sports is really May, June. Shorter seasons, but they'll still have,
March. So it could be.
February, March, or January, February.
it'd be a backwards season. It'd be cold at the beginning and hot by the end instead of hot at the beginning and cold by the end.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I always thought football ended before it got really cold.
Playoffs never. It's usually because it's Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, really cold.
It really makes. I don't know how they were trying to push it through. I mean, it makes sense to do school first and make sure school works, but I don't have to make those calls. So I'm gonna stay out of that one. There's no answers in anything associated with the schools this year that's going to please everybody.
Everybody has different situations at home.
6 o'clock, Dave.
Okay, that's perfect, thank you.
All right, 6 p.m. We'll call this regular village board meeting to order. If you'd all please join me in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, you have the roll.
Trustee Mann?
Present.
Trustee Charo?
Present.
Trustee Mao?
Present.
Trustee Devers?
Here.
Trustee Gerger?
Here.
Trustee Mitchell? Here. Village President Kimsey?
Present. Any public announcements this evening? Hearing none. Public comments on the agenda topics.
I did get an email, but I think it's more for the later where it's just public comments on village business.
Okay. Hearing no other. Have a motion to put the consent agenda on the table.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mann has made a motion. Over a second. Second by Trustee Detmers. We have any discussion regarding the minutes or the warrants?
I had one question about the warrants. There was one item for Illinois County's Risk Management Trust, and it says the deductible for Vulcan Construction Builders sand and gravel lawsuit. I didn't know, Pat, if you had any background on that one.
Yeah, years ago when they were doing the investigation for the water plant, they hired a driller to go out there and put in some test wells. They drilled near a levee and didn't hear anything for years. And then just within the last year, the Vulcan Sand and Gravel sued, saying that the boring that was put in the ground caused their levee to leak or breach or whatever. So we turned that over to our risk management, and I think we had $1,000 or $2,000 deductible. So, but that,
So Chatham paid to have the test wells dug, and that's why we are responsible versus the South Sangamon Water Commission being responsible?
yeah, at that time it was still under Chatham. So,
Thank you.
And the statute of limitations hasn't run out? for that
No.
liability?
no, Greg checked on that. And so did the risk management. And we had to bump that from our current risk management to our previous risk management to, I think it was IML. They were the ones that were our risk managers at that time. So they were ended up, I think, doing the settlement.
Are we in occurrence policy or claims made policy? Do you know?
I would need to go back and look, it's been a while since I've looked at that.
Is this claim falling under our new carrier or old carrier? That'll tell me.
Old carrier. Yeah. And I think they settled.
Okay. Then I have one question. Brian, I saw a laptop for dispatcher. Are we going virtual for dispatch?
No, the laptop is it's a backup to our current system. If we lose power and if we lose the system completely, we can go to the wireless. If we need to pick up and move our dispatch center out of where it's at currently, we have a laptop that will be able to handle the captain's access.
Okay.
Good. All right, Madam Clerk, would you take the vote?
Trustee Mann?
Yes.
Trustee Charo?
Yes.
Trustee Mao?
Yes.
Trustee Detmers?
Yes.
Trustee Gerger?
Yes.
Trustee Churchill?
Yes.
No old business. Under new business, item 1 is a council resolution of support for a community development block grant for Lil2 Inc., DBA at the Chatham Cafe. Do we have a motion here?
Make that motion.
Trustee Churchill, second by Trustee Mao. Thirded. Any additional comment or questions regarding this resolution?
I'd say the county, we need to keep small businesses here.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Mann?
Yes.
Trustee Charo?
Yes.
Trustee Mao?
Yes.
Trustee Detmers?
Yes.
Trustee Gerger?
Yes.
Trustee Churchill?
So Lou, I'll leave the same bit of advice I left with the last businesses that came in and applied for this. Our vote tonight is not a final vote. Our vote is on a resolution to support your application and your grant application into the state of Illinois. The Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity will make the final decision. So I say that with the old, don't spend anything until you have it kind of caveat, but we're, as a village, we're happy to help any of our small businesses in any way that we can. And we keep cheering you on, so. All right, any public comments regarding any village business? Pat, you had one?
I've got 3+ questions here. Payment to CWLP for $230,047.28 for emergency water backup supply. What dates were this for? That was from June 13th through July the 30th. Okay. Does South Sangamon reimburse any of this? The answer to that is no. Were certain areas affected by this emergency water supply? The whole town, because we were out that many days, the water completely turned over. So we had City of Springfield water for probably, 16 of the 17 days. Okay. Any notification sent to citizens? No, we're not required to do that. Which department gets the new Dodge 2500? That truck went to the electric department. Which department has the 2018 Dodge truck? That is in the water department. That's it on the questions.
Any additional comments? Hearing none, schedule of meetings. Village Board will meet August 11th at 6 p.m. Committee of the Whole follows at 6:15. The Planning Commission, 6 p.m. on August 20th. The Board, again, at 6 p.m. on August 25th. Public Properties and Recreation, 6 p.m. September 14th. And the Utility Oversight Subcommittee is scheduled for 6 p.m. October 12th. We have no reason for executive session this evening.
We will most likely have a planning commission for some possible changes to Cardinal Ridge. Okay.
What about the chickens?
What about the chickens?
I thought that issue was being moved back.
I haven't heard from Greg on that.
I thought they had to figure out who it went to first, the planning or
Yeah.
the zoning.
And there's no, Paul, there'd be a lengthy notice requirement anytime you're going to do a public hearing too, so. All right. No further business? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Charo, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Trustee Demers, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting stands adjourned.